Hi, I'm John from WorkshopAddict.com. About 8-9 months ago, I got this Ridgid R4331 13-inch thickness planer, and I've been using the heck out of it. Recently, it started cutting poorly. It had some snipe in the ends. It's time for a blade change. This unit has a 3-knife cutting head, and luckily, the blades in here are reversible. They're sharp on both sides, so all I really have to do right now is go into this, turn the knives around, and I'll have a whole brand new set of knives. I'm going to show you how to do that. So it's really simple, and it's good to know in case you lose your manual or you're just not sure about buying this unit. How hard is it to change the knives? It's super simple, so I'm going to show you how. Two things to start off with. Before you do this, make sure your unit's unplugged, of course. Safety first on this. Second of all, on the side of the unit here, Ridgid has the Allen wrench required and necessary to do this job. If you don't have this, if you lose it or whatnot, it's a 4mm wrench. But this is a nice little wrench because it's got some magnets on it, and I'll show you why it's nice. So let's turn this unit around. We'll come in close and I'll show you how to do this. Now we're at the back of the unit. This is the dust collection shroud, which goes into the chute, which goes into your dust collection system. And this is going to be the first thing we need to take off. But before we do this, we want to make sure our blade, our cutter head height is set at 1 inch-ish. We want to have a little space in between here. I'll, of course, make sure it's unplugged. And so what you need to do is take your wrench and take off these Allen screws, bolts that are holding this dust collection shroud down. There's just 2 of them. Pull them off, this slides right off. This is a nice opportunity to clean this out, check to see if there's anything wrong. I like to think of this maintenance as an opportunity and not a chore. You'll see right here there's a little fan, little propeller, I don't know what you call little fins. And this rotates with the cutter head. This will actually rotate the same time that does. What you need to do is make sure your cutter head is locked into a position. If it's not, and it can spin, rotate this propeller, these fan blades, until this locks. You'll hear a click and it'll lock your bar into place. So from here we have 6 Allen head bolts that have to come out. Again, use your same wrench. After you have all 6 of these out, this is where this little wrench comes in handy. You can see there's 2 rare earth magnets in the top of this. Use this to take your bar off. Holds right onto it, pulls it right out. You can see by this, in case you get confused and forget, this sharp edge right here is your front leading edge, the rounded edge is your back. Take a look at it, clean it up. It's a good opportunity. Now we're going to use that same wrench to pull out the knife. Here's the knife on the unit. Quick tip on this, you'll see that there are 3 holes in this knife, and what this does is it lines up with the pins when you install it. Now if you start seeing some gouges in your wood when it's coming through, that usually means there's nicks on these knives. Somehow they got nicked up and it'll have a high ridge. What you can do to get rid of that temporarily is you can open this up, slide one of your knives over. So, because there should be a little bit of play either direction, so you can slide it one way or the other. And what that will do is it will take the little gouges in your knives and not line them up. So you can get a little more life out of these just by moving these one way or another. Now once you have the knife out, what I like to do is take yourself a Sharpie marker. This is kind of a little tip. And in case you forget if you've changed the blades or which one you're going to move. A couple things I like to do is I like to number these blades. Like this is blade number 1. And I'm going to orient it, now that I got to flip it, I'm going to orient this blade this way. So when it comes time, if I want to move it, I know it's oriented this way, so I want to move it this way. Also, I like to put the date that it was changed. Let's say let me write this down. Month, year. So I know in 9/13 I switched these, I moved them. This does a couple things. Besides telling you what blade it is, what direction it is, what date, Now that it's marked up, I know that I've already reversed these blades, so I can't have a question whether this is a new blade, did I flip the blade. I did flip it because I took it apart and wrote on it. So that's a little tip for you, whether you want to use it or not, it's up to you. Now it's flipped, take your magnet, put it back in there, and line it up with those pins. Remember, I want to orient it this way, so I'll slide it that way, hold it down. Oops. These magnets are pretty tight, so alright, it's slid all the way over, it's in place. Now we're going to take our bar, put that back on. Again, it's lining up with those same pins as the knife. A little hard to see right now, but they will lock right in. There it goes, locks right in. That lines everything up. That way you know your blade's all lined up, same distance cutting head, and with the other blades, and all your screws are going to line up. So now we're going to put it back together. Alright, now that you've replaced one of your knives, spun it around or replaced it, it's time to move on to the next one. You remember your cutter blade head is locked, so there's this little red knob back here. If you press it, it releases it. So press that, use these fan blades to go ahead and rotate to the next cutter head. It'll lock into place and it'll be safe to work on again. Use the same technique with this one, and when you're done with that one, rotate to the third one and replace that one. Remember, there's 3 cutter heads on this unit. Their older unit, I believe, has 2 cutter heads, so there's only 2 knives. So after you've replaced all that, it's as simple as putting this shroud back on and returning it back to service, putting your screws in. So I'm not going to do that right now, but put these screws back in and you're all set to go. One thing I want to say is this whole process is written out in the manual very clearly, but I'm more of a visual person. That's why I wanted to make this video for other people who are like me. Hopefully this helps you out. And if you've got a different model, the process should be about the same, but please refer to your manual. But this is how the R4331 blade change is done. So hopefully this helps. And until next time, I'm John from WorkshopAddict.com. Talk to you later.